Chapter 1. Introduction. Many people consider nuts to be the perfect snack after age 60. They're sold in drugstores, added to cereal, advertised as superfoods. Doctors, bloggers, nutritionists all speak with one voice. Eat nuts. It's good for you. But the truth, which is rarely voiced, is different. Not all nuts are equally beneficial. Moreover, some of them can cause serious harm to the elderly body. A Harvard University study found that regular consumption of certain types of nuts is linked to an increased risk of inflammation, impaired brain function, and even decreased effectiveness of medications. One of these nuts is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. It's often advised for diabetes and included in healthy snacks, but for the body after 60, it can be a real-time bomb. In this video, we will make an honest investigation and tell you what 5 nuts should be limited or excluded for older people, why exactly they are harmful after 60, from the position of science, not rumors, and which nut is the most dangerous of all. Affects the liver, brain, sleep, medication, and found in almost every home. We won't scare you for views, just facts backed by research, logic, and doctor recommendations. Stay to the end. You might reconsider your diet today. Chapter 2. Cashews, the hidden enemy for sugar, bones, and kidneys. They look soft, sweet, and delicious. Cashews are often called the most versatile nuts. They are added to oatmeal, made into plant-based milk, snacks, and desserts. But few people know it is cashews that are on the list of the most dangerous nuts for seniors. Reason 1. Sugar spikes. Cashews have a high glycemic index, about 25 to 30. This means they can cause blood sugar to spike, especially if eaten alone or between meals. For older people with diabetes or prediabetes, and these are more than 25% after age 60, this can be a trigger for worsening of the condition: weakness, dizziness, insulin spikes, threat of complications. Fact: the American Diabetes Association recommends limiting nuts high in carbohydrates. And in 100 grams of cashews, there are almost 30 grams of carbohydrates. Reason 2. Harm to bones and kidneys. Cashews contain oxalates, substances that interfere with calcium absorption. They prevent minerals from being properly deposited in the bones, and in older people, this can cause accelerated loss of bone mass, fragility, increased risk of fractures. Plus, oxalates increase the risk of kidney stones, especially with lack of fluids and in hot weather. Nephrologist commentary: we often see people complain of lower back pain, swelling, weakness as they age. In 30% of cases, the cause is oxalate stones. Cashews are one of the leaders in oxalate content among nuts. Reason 3. Hidden additives and oils. Even if you buy seemingly natural cashews at the store, pay attention to the composition: vegetable oil, palm oil, canola oil, salt, sugar, flavor enhancers, and flavorings. This makes cashews not just a nut, but almost a semi-finished product. And for the body after the age of 60, it means a strain on the liver, pancreas, and cardiovascular system. Real story: Ivan is 67 years old. After retirement, he decided to eat right. He replaced sausages and bread with nuts. Every day he ate a handful of cashews between meals. After 2 months, abdominal pain, loss of strength, urolithiasis. After examination, it turned out excess oxalates plus sugar spikes equals load on kidneys and pancreas. Alternatives: if you want something soft and sweet, much safer: almonds, especially sliced or soaked in water; pumpkin seeds, soft, good for prostate and digestion; walnuts, especially fresh but not roasted. Conclusion: cashews are not poison, but they are not salvation either, especially after the age of 60. If you control sugar, take care of your kidneys and bones. Cashews should be eliminated or minimized. A useful product is not one that tastes good. It's the one that works for your health, not against it. Translated with deepl.com, free version. Chapter 3. Peanuts. Aflatoxins, inflammation, and pseudo-usefulness. Peanuts are in the first place in terms of availability, price, and prevalence. It can be found in every kitchen, in chocolate, bars, pasta, even in salads. But despite its popularity, peanuts are one of the most controversial foods, especially for the elderly. Reason 1. Aflatoxins are mold poisons. Peanuts are very often infected with aflatoxins, which are toxins produced by mold fungi when the nut is stored in humid or warm conditions. Simply speaking, aflatoxins are mold waste products that you can't see but that may be inside the nut. Even if peanuts look dry and normal, they may already be dangerous. Aflatoxins are recognized by the World Health Organization as carcinogens, that is, substances that can cause liver cancer. In older people whose liver is already working slower, this risk increases significantly. Reason 2. High levels of omega-6 to inflammation. Peanuts are rich in omega-6 fatty acids. These substances are necessary for the body, but only if they are balanced with omega-3. Simply speaking, when there are too many omega-6 fatty acids, they begin to inflate the inflammatory processes in the body. This can cause joint pain, exacerbation of arthritis, digestive problems, and blood pressure. This is especially dangerous for people over the age of 60 who already have chronic inflammation. Reason 3. Peanuts are not nuts. Few people know, but peanuts are not a nut at all, but a legum plant. It is closer to beans than to almonds. This means that harder to digest, may cause flatulence and bloating. It often provokes allergies, especially latent ones. Comment by the gastroenterologist. Peanuts after the age of 60 are a burden on the stomach, liver, and intestines. It's hard to digest, especially when fried. Reason 4. It is often paired with salt, sugar, and butter. Peanuts are rarely eaten in their natural form. Mostly salty, increases blood pressure. Fried in oil, strain on the liver and blood vessels, with icing or sugar spikes, obesity, diabetes risk. This transforms it from a healthy snack into a product comparable to fast food. A life story. Tamara Ivanovna, 69, ate peanuts almost every day, in the form of nut paste with bread. 6 months later, pain in the side, liver deterioration, sugar spikes, bloating. After the analysis, it turned out to be an increased level of aflatoxins, poor digestibility, and problems with the gallbladder. Alternative: if you want crispy and fatty, pistachios, unsalted. Support vision and blood pressure. Sunflower seeds are soft and healthy for blood vessels. Almonds or walnuts, in moderation. Conclusion: peanuts are the most deceptive product. It's cheap and everywhere, but for older people, it can be a source of inflammation, toxins, and digestive problems. If you take care of your liver, joints, and blood vessels, peanuts should be excluded from your daily diet. Chapter 4. Pine nuts, bitter taste, loss of appetite, and medication malfunction. Pine nuts are often perceived as a delicacy. They are small, fragrant, and expensive. They are added to salads, pesto, and porridges. But the beautiful packaging hides a number of unexpected problems, especially for older people. Problem number 1: cedar flavor syndrome, pine nut syndrome. Some people experience a metallic or bitter taste in their mouth after eating pine nuts, which persists for several days to 2 weeks. Component placement. In simple language, you eat soup, porridge, tea, and everything tastes like metal. Even your favorite dishes taste disgusting. This phenomenon is called pine nut syndrome, and its cause is not fully understood. Scientists suggest that it is due to certain varieties of Chinese pine nuts that cause this reaction in sensitive people. Why is it dangerous for the elderly? Appetite disappears. People stop eating even the right food. Body weight decreases. Losing 2 to 4 kilograms in a couple of weeks is a blow to the immune system. Irritability, anxiety. The metallic taste affects the psyche. Pine nut syndrome can be especially severe for people over 60 who already have decreased appetite or have gastritis. Problem number 2: the effect on the effect of drugs. Pine nuts can affect your metabolism, especially if consumed regularly. Component placement. Simply speaking, some substances in nuts affect the functioning of the liver, which is responsible for the processing of medicines. This can lead to medications have a weaker effect, or vice versa. the side effects increase. This is especially dangerous if you take blood pressure medications, medications for the thyroid gland, statins, preparations for the stomach. An endocrinologist comment, we often see failures in tests in elderly patients who ate healthy nuts. But in fact, they changed the functioning of the liver and the drugs stopped working properly. Problem number 3, they deteriorate quickly. Pine nuts contain a lot of polyunsaturated fats, which are very useful, but they oxidize very quickly if the nuts are stored incorrectly. Rancid nuts accumulate toxic compounds that can cause nausea, increase inflammation in the body, and disrupt digestion. Remember, pine nuts should only be stored in the refrigerator for no more than 3 months, and an open package is a maximum of 2 weeks. Life story. Ludmila is 70 years old. She bought pine nuts at the market and added them to her morning porridge. A week later, metallic taste, headache, refusal of food. After consulting with a gastroenterologist, it turned out pine nut syndrome. It took another week to restore taste and appetite. Alternative? Do you want something small, nutritious, and fragrant? Try. Pumpkin seeds are good for the immune system and prostate, while soft, inexpensive walnuts, especially fresh, unsalted pistachios, are rich in lutein and potassium. Conclusion: pine nuts are an interesting but insidious product. After the age of 60, they can ruin the taste of life, literally disrupt the work of drugs, and reduce appetite. If you want to stay healthy, eat them rarely, only fresh and with care. Chapter 5. Macadamia is a delicious pest. Fats, bile, and cholesterol. Macadamia is the queen of nuts, as it is often called. It's tender, buttery, and delicious. It is used in expensive desserts, luxury cosmetics, and, increasingly, on the table of those who strive for a healthy diet. But this noble taste hides risks that are especially dangerous for people over the age of 60. Problem number 1. Excessively fatty and high-calorie food. One of the main disadvantages of macadamia is the huge amount of fat and calories. 100 grams of macadamia contains about 750 calories. This is 1/3 of the daily allowance for an elderly person. These fats are mostly saturated, which means may increase the level of bad cholesterol, LDL. They contribute to the formation of plaques in blood vessels. They increase the risk of coronary heart disease and stroke. Cardiologists comment, macadamia is a festive nut. Its taste and texture are deceptive. It can be dangerous for people with high cholesterol and overweight. Problem number 2. Digested slowly and hard. For the body after the age of 60, it is especially important that food does not overload the digestion. And macadamia, due to its fat content, causes heaviness in the stomach, the feeling of excess, nausea with regular use. The gallbladder is particularly affected. Fatty foods stimulate his work, and older people often have stagnation of bile, small stones, inflammation, cholecystitis. Macadamia can provoke an exacerbation of these conditions, and suddenly. Problem number 3, a very hard nut. Surprisingly, even that matters. Macadamia is harder than most nuts, and it is difficult to crack it, even with healthy teeth. For people with dentures, brittle enamel, weak jaw, this nut can be a direct threat to teeth or gums. That is why dentists do not recommend the elderly to eat macadamia in its whole form. Swing a life story. Anatoly, 72 years old. I bought macadamia on trial. I ate 30 to 40 grams in one evening. After 2 hours, heaviness in the stomach, bitterness in the mouth. A day later, there is a sharp pain under the ribs. Diagnosis: exacerbation of cholelithiasis. The nut turned out to be a tasty trap. Alternative: if you want something soft, greasy, and healthy, unsalted pistachios are rich in potassium and good for blood pressure. Almonds, sliced or soaked, are rich in vitamin E and are well absorbed. Walnuts provide fat, but with omega-3 not saturated fats. Conclusion: macadamia is a nut that is suitable for a young and healthy body. After 60 is a risk: cholesterol, obesity, gallbladder, heaviness in the stomach, dental problems. Don't let the taste fool you. Sometimes an elite product does not mean useful. Do you want to continue? The next is the final harmful category. Chapter 6. Nuts and glaze, caramel and butter are a sweet poison after 60. Chapter 6. Nuts and glaze, caramel and butter. Sweet poison after 60 nuts are a storehouse of benefits. But everything changes when the manufacturer decides to improve the taste. This is how nuts appear in glaze, caramel, honey, chocolate, salt, butter, and flavor enhancers. As a result, you are not buying a healthy product, but a sweet poison, especially if you are over 60. Problem number 1. Added sugar and glucose syrups. Caramelized almonds. Chocolate-covered peanuts. Cashews and honey. All this seems delicious, but 100 grams of these nuts contain up to 50 grams of sugar. Component placement. For comparison, it's almost like half a bar of chocolate. Even 1 to 2 handfuls of these nuts can cause a sugar spike, dizziness, thirst, and severe stress on the pancreas. This is especially dangerous for people with type 2 diabetes, and this is every 4th person over 60. If you are overweight with insulin resistance, when the body reacts poorly to its own insulin. Problem number 2. Trans fats and cheap oils. Many delicious nuts are fried not in a frying pan but in large industrial vats where they are used. Palm oil, refined soy fat, and even trans fats. These oils, they increase the level of bad cholesterol, LDL. They provoke inflammation, they increase the risk of atherosclerosis and stroke. Nutritionists comment, such nuts are no longer food. This is a snack that harms without giving anything in return, especially after the age of 60, when the metabolism is already slowed down. Problem number 3, flavor enhancers and salt. Many nuts have labels on the packaging: smoked flavor, bacon flavor, cheese, etc. This means that the composition monosodium glutamate, flavors, dyes, artificial haze. And salt is generally one of the most hidden threats. 1 handful of salted peanuts can contain half of the daily norm of sodium. It is dangerous when hypertension, edema, heart failure, fluid retention in the body. A life story Raisa, 66, decided to give up sweets and switched to glazed nuts. Almonds and honey, peanuts and caramel. After 2 months, weight gain of 4 kilograms, pressure surges, poor sleep, anxiety. The doctor said, "You've replaced a cake with another cake, but without the cream." Alternative. There is no need to completely abandon nuts. You just need to know which forms are safe and useful. Raw or slightly dried nuts. No salt, no sugar. Sliced almonds, walnuts, pistachios are ideal for porridge, cottage cheese. Add a little cinnamon or coconut for flavor instead of caramel. And remember, it is better to eat nuts together with the main food, porridge, salad, than as a separate snack. This way, there are fewer chances to overeat and increase blood sugar. Conclusion: not all nuts are harmful, but almost everything that is sold in glaze, honey butter, or with salt is no longer about health. They lose their value and turn into a temptation that the body of an elderly person cannot afford without consequences. Chapter 7. What doctors and science say. The truth about nuts after 60. To figure out which nuts are really useful and which are harmful, it's not enough to listen to bloggers or watch ads. We need facts, and only science provides them. Now we will analyze several key studies that will help us understand which nuts support health after 60 and which ones can undermine it. Study 1. Harvard School of Public Health. In 2020, Harvard conducted a study that involved more than 100,000 people aged 50 plus. The participants were divided into groups. Some ate raw nuts, others are fried with salt and sugar. Still others did not eat nuts at all. Conclusions after 6 years. Those who ate raw walnuts and almonds had 20% lower risk of cardiovascular diseases. The risk of age-related cognitive impairment is 13% lower. But those who ate roasted and glazed nuts had 18% higher risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes, deterioration of memory and sleep. Zrenia comment by the lead author. Raw nuts are healthy, but add salt, sugar, or butter, and their effect can be reversed. Study 2. Nutrition and Aging Journal, 2021. The focus of the study is the effect of nuts on the brain of the elderly. For 8 weeks, the elderly participants ate walnuts, 30 grams per day, macadamia, 30 grams per day, and peanuts, 30 grams per day. Results: walnuts, improve memory by 12%, concentration by 9%. Macadamia, no improvement, but an average weight gain of 1.2 kilograms. Peanuts, sleep loss and decreased insulin sensitivity. Quote from the report: nuts have different effects on cognitive functions. Their composition matters, especially the ratio of fats and antioxidants. Study 3, European Food Control Center. In 2019, experts revealed that more than 30% of peanuts in retail chains in Europe and the CIS contain aflatoxins above the norm. Aflatoxins are poisonous toxins that are produced by mold in hot and humid conditions. They increase the risk of liver cancer, they accumulate in the body, they are especially dangerous with weak liver detoxification, which is very typical for the elderly. What do the doctors say? Cardiologist, MD Irina Saprikina. As we age, the liver, heart, blood vessels, and pancreas become more vulnerable. Nuts are a powerful product that either cures or harms. It all depends on the type, shape, and quantity. Gastroenterologist V. Stashevsky. The most common mistake is to think that if nuts are healthy, then you can eat any and as many as you want. Fried and glazed are especially dangerous. They literally kill the liver and disrupt the intestinal microflora. Zrenia short rules from doctors. Short rules from doctors. Do it, avoid it. Eat nuts in the morning. Eating nuts at night is a burden on the digestive tract. Use raw or slightly dried. Exclude fried, glazed, and flavored. Up to 20 to 30 grams per day. Do not exceed 30 grams. Even useful drink warm water or a meal. Do not eat dry, boiled nuts. It is hard for the stomach. Store in the refrigerator. Do not store in an open jar at room temperature. Conclusion: science says unequivocally, nuts can be a natural medicine if you choose the right kind, eat the right amount, and do not fall into the traps of industrial processing. After the age of 60, it's important not just to eat nuts, but to know which nuts you're eating. Ready to continue for the final part. Chapter 8. Safe alternatives, dosages, and how to eat nuts properly after 60. Chapter 8. Safe alternatives, dosages, and how to eat nuts properly after 60. After all the revelations, a logical question arises. But what can you eat? After all, nuts are protein, fats, and trace elements. There is no need to completely abandon them. It is enough to know which ones are safe, in what form, and in what quantity. The best nuts after 60 years: walnut. It is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, supports brain function, reduces inflammation. Eat 3 to 5 nuts a day, preferably in the morning. Almonds, source of vitamin E, antioxidant, magnesium, calcium. Supports bones, heart, vision. It is best to soak overnight or slice. Standard: 10 to 15 pieces per day. Pistachios unsalted. They contain potassium, protect eyesight. They are well absorbed and easy to chew. You can eat up to 30 grams per day, about 45 to 50 pieces. Brazil nut. One of the best sources of selenium, supports the thyroid gland, brain, and immune system. The main thing is not to eat more than 1 to 2 nuts per day. An overabundance of selenium is harmful. How many nuts can I eat? After 60 years, the body needs fewer calories but more benefits. The total recommended serving is 20 to 30 grams of nuts per day. This: 5 walnut halves, or 10 to 15 tonsils, or 1 tablespoon of chopped nuts in porridge or salad. Better, less, but regularly. When do I eat nuts? Swing. The best time: in the morning with porridge, cottage cheese porridge. In the afternoon. as part of a snack with fruit. Undesirable? For the night on an empty stomach, especially fatty varieties. How to combine nuts. Nuts are a fatty product. So that it does not overload the digestive tract, it is better to combine them with dairy products, yogurt, kefir, cottage cheese, porridge, oatmeal buckwheat, fruits, apple, pear, banana. Avoid combining nuts with meat with oil, other fatty foods. This increases the load on the liver. How to store nuts. Nuts spoil faster than we think. Keep in an airtight jar in the fridge, especially walnuts and Brazilian ones. Do not store. In the sun in a paper bag in an open package for more than 7 days. After the age of 60, the body can no longer forgive overeating, accidental foods, or harmful supplements. Choose something simple, raw, and fresh. And even if a handful of nuts will do you good, not harm. Chapter 9. The Finale. Now you know more than most. Today you have learned something that is not talked about in commercials and on labels. Nuts are a really powerful product. But after the age of 60, your body can no longer cope with the excesses that were easily tolerated in your youth. You have learned that some nuts can increase sugar, provoke joint inflammation, interfere with the work of medicines. It can overload the liver and gallbladder, and even cause a metallic taste, nausea, and insomnia. But you also found out which nuts are really healthy, and how to choose, store, and eat them properly so that they support the brain, heart, eyesight, and mood. Small steps. Great health. You don't have to throw everything out of the kitchen right away. It is enough to start with one change. Remove glazed nuts, replace peanuts with walnuts, or simply reduce the amount, and you are already taking a step towards better health. Treat yourself with respect. Your body deserves the best foods, not those that are fashionable, but those that really work for your health. Share this video with your loved ones. Let them know the truth too. And write in the comments, which nuts do you eat most often? And did you know about their effects before this video? Subscribe to the Health 65 Plus channel, like it, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next important video. Take care of yourself and be healthy, because you're the only one at home.